Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is Force with some more Hearthstone. Today we'll be spotlighting Trump's Baron Geddon Control Warrior. It's a standard Control Warrior deck tweaked for the current metagame with Miracle Rogues and Zoo abundant. We've got some early control like the Fiery War Axe and Cleave, some board clearers such as Brawl and Baron Geddon, and then winners like ALexstrasza and Grommash Hellscream. Now with the premise out of the way, let's take a look at the deck in action. And our test matchup for today is going to be against another warrior, so this will be a mirror matchup. I think, we don't really need to execute early on, most likely. We'll hold on to the Shield Slam, though. So I want to talk about some of the differences. The deck list here for Trump's Baron Geddon deck looks pretty traditional. That's horrible. Looks like the pretty traditional control deck. A few of the exceptions that immediately stand out to me. Number one is that the deck is running a Cleave. Again, that's helped to help deal with a lot of those early swarming style of decks. In addition to having Cleave in here, we also have the Azure Drakes, which with those Drakes you can increase the spell power of your Cleave, of your Slam, of your Whirlwind, all of which will help you deal with that aggro stuff. And then we've got Baron Geddon in here, also a board clear for low health minions, once again, to deal with Zoo and Rushdown and all, well not Rushdown per se, but especially the Zoo style of decks. It's gonna be interesting. This particular matchup, I've played, I want to say somewhere in the vicinity of 5 to 10 games now with this deck. I don't know if with this particular variation, I don't know if I've done a single mirror matchup yet. What I do know though is that anytime I played Control Warrior versus Control Warrior, trying to maintain a large health pool, i.e. armoring up, is the ideal thing, the most important, one of the biggest priorities, if you will. So for example, he is throwing an axe at my face. I am just going to armor up in response. I am not going to throw down an axe. I'll be saving that axe for a later date. So we're going to go ahead and throw ourselves some armor, and although he is getting some extra damage in through here, now he doesn't have that axe to use against, you know, future things that I'm going to put down. And I'm interested to see what exactly I can probably predict like 95% of the cards that he has, and just probably just going to be very similar to the cards that I myself have in this deck. Alright, so here's a Cruel Taskmaster, so that's exactly the sort of thing that I want to Fiery War Axe, and that's exactly the thing that I will. And we're gonna War Axe first, and then armor up after the fact. Because having that armor is more important than having that health for things like Shield Slam. Well, that's actually exactly why it's more important. Because we have Shield Slam in the deck, you prioritize more armor over more health. And I think he's just gonna keep plugging away at me, huh? No, there we go, okay. So, for example, right now we could throw down the Kor'Kron Elite, but we can also just get an armor. Wait, how many cards do we have? 3, 6, 9. Okay, so we're fine. Yeah, we're fine to just do that. And at some point, I might consider attacking him with the War Axe, just because we do have the Gorehowl in our hand, so this will be replaced eventually anyways. And we'll just have to see, though. And he drops down the Azure Drake. And I'm trying to think here. A Shield Slam itself wouldn't be enough. I mean, I can attack into it. I think we're gonna do that. And then I'm actually gonna toss a Drake down of my own. Gonna get the card draw. There's the shield block. If he wants to attack into it, he'll take that 4 damage to the face. We are at a noticeable life disadvantage right now, but look at our hand. And that's really what I'm hoping will power us through. So here's a slam, he gets the card draw, and then he is likely to attack into it, if not throw a second slam. There's his Drake. And I might just toss the Elite at it. A few different ways that I can kill it. I think I might go with the Shield Slam. On the card draw, there, okay. I'm gonna Shield Slam it. And I'm just gonna armor up again. And now we're basically at 30 health. We're at 30, he's at 32. Both have a lot of cards in hand. This is gonna be a very long example game. It's so funny. Alright, there's a Black Knight. Yeah, we got a few different ways we can get rid of that. Might just Gorehowl him. Pass the turn on over. We're playing for the long game, and Sylvanas for a warrior is tough to deal with because typically we're not seeing silences run in this deck. So once he plays something gigantic, then I think the Sylvanas is going to be a better play, because if he kills it, then we take whatever it is that he has, such as the ALexstrasza. So I would be giving him a bunch of armor if I did what I'm thinking of doing. Well, why don't we actually Drake and let's kill that. So he's not going to get armor off of this, and then I'm going to kill that with a slam. And then we're just going to armor up and pass it back on over. So we've got all of, we haven't played any of our big beastly cards yet. ALexstrasza, Baron Geddon, Hellscream, well obviously, yeah, Hellscream, Bloodhoof, Sylvanas. We're still sitting on all of that. I see a slam from him for the card draw, and then he finishes it off by playing Baron Geddon. I think he's running the exact same deck. Alright, I can do a few things. I don't want to throw the execute at him. Another way I can kill it is like this. So this is what I'm gonna do. Oh wait. Yeah. Yeah. That will work. That's gonna finish off his Baron Geddon, keeping ours in play. I like it. It's a shield slam to kill off our Baron Geddon. I don't even know what to say about this. This as an example game is just hilarious. Sylvanas would be annoying just because I'd have to use my turn dealing with it, which would probably be like a Whirlwind execute. I mean, I could just also attack into it, but I'm starting to get myself low with all these decisions to attack into it. He obviously has that life advantage. The question is, do I have the tactical advantage, and can I live long enough to make use of it? I've got the Hellscream. I can trigger it with Whirlwind. We still haven't drawn into a single Cruel Taskmaster, so we got 2 of those sitting in our remaining 13 cards. And he decides to do nothing? Oh my god. Are you serious? He might be AFK. That would be especially annoying. Or he just let his turn run out without playing anything? I don't know. I'm pretty sure he must have been AFK though. So there's our ALexstrasza, bringing him down to 20. Now, if he does not kill ALexstrasza, he's not quite dead, but close, because we'll be able to trigger Grommash to 10. If we draw into Cruel Taskmaster, we can kill him. Oh, actually no, because he can just armor up. So he'd still have, so I don't think we have the kill next turn. Well, actually no, we've got the Gorehowl too, so that will bring him up. If he just armor ups, he is up to 22. Then we've got 18 plus 5, that's enough. Okay, so he's gonna Whirlwind execute. Shield block.
Armor made.
And then an Armorsmith, alright. Well, we're gonna be attacking into that Armorsmith. And then Ragnaros. Or I could just put a Bloodhoof down. if like another shield block, or excuse me, another shield slam, or I think he still has another execute. I don't want him to just easily get rid of Ragnaros. That's my thought process, basically. Okay, so here's his 12 damage wombo combo. Excuse me, 8 damage. I'm not gonna rag because I want to gain health right now. Well, you know what? If I rag right now, a Leroy plus a man.
I have no time for games.
So why didn't I throw down rag there? Because that would have been 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. Executes the first iteration. Plays a Ragnar. Okay. Whew. Narrowly escaping death here with every turn. Pass it on over. This is really a nerve-wracking situation. He's gonna attack my Acolyte. This would be a good time to Ragnaros. This is a good turn to Ragnaros right here. It's a very good turn to Ragnaros. And I am also going to, at this very instance, we're not going to armor up. We're going to do damage to him. Because I'm trying to set up for the win. So right now, even if he kills Ragnaros, if he doesn't play a taunt, or if he doesn't kill us right now, we have got Grommash Taskmaster, +3, which will... Oh. Okay. Last one in wins, and Ragnaros was the last one in, and that's also a win. Kind of crazy as an example game, but there it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at the deck list. Trump's Baron Geddon Control Warrior deck, and yes, that is correctly Baron with a bear. There should be a picture of, I'll put a picture of a bear here. Let's take a look at the deck list. You know, it's pretty straightforward for the most part. I'd say the big exceptions to a lot of the Control Warrior decks that I typically see is that we do have a Cleave in here. There's also 1 Armorsmith instead of 2. Kor'Kron Elite sometimes is, sometimes not. The Azure Drakes, not seeing these in a lot of the Control Warrior decks that I've been playing over the past couple of months, but it's a really good fit here when you're considering dealing with a lot of Zoo. Being able to get that extra spell power for a Whirlwind, for a Cleave, for a Slam. It's huge. It's significant. Cleave for 3 damage. Whirlwind for 2 damage across the board. Slam for 3. I mean, it makes a big, big difference. It's also a 4/4 body. A lot of times it will die right after you put it in play, but at least you get the card draw, and if you can play it and then take advantage of the spell power, it's worth having. And then, you know, we've got a lot of the standard stuff. We've got Bloodhoof, Windrunner, sometimes in, sometimes not. Gorehowl always in. Baron Geddon, something specific to right now, the current metagame, getting that 2 damage all across the board, very nice. The Hellscream, the Ragnaros, ALexstrasza, that's all fairly standard stuff. You know, Execute, Shield Slam, Whirlwind, Fire War Axe, the Slam, That's board control, board control, board control, board. That's all that stuff right there. The Cruel Taskmaster, you know, it works as early board control. You want to use it as early board control if you're fighting against Zoo to mitigate that incoming early damage. But if you're playing against control, it works to trigger execute. It works to obviously to pump up your Grommash Hellscream. You can also use it to trade up. Sometimes if I want to play more aggressively, I'll drop an Armorsmith. Sometimes if I want to play this deck aggressively, depending on the opponent, I might coin into an Armorsmith on my first turn, and then second turn Cruel Taskmaster hitting the Armorsmith, and then I've got a 3/3 in play. You know, I can trade for a creature, or I can hit my opponent in the face for 3. But most of the time, you're sitting back, you're focused mostly on board control and winning in the late game, because that's where this deck shines. But there you go, guys. Trump's Baron Geddon Control Warrior deck. I'm sure if you want a much better explanation of how this thing is played, check out Trump's stream. I saw him playing with this deck last night, which is the reason I decided to spotlight it today. Stay tuned. We're going to do a gameplay video in which I'll be playing a few different games. Hopefully, we'll get some Zoo in those games as well, so I can show you what this deck is really meant to help deal with. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Also, he also mentioned that this deck is being used against the Miracle Rogues that are pretty prevalent right now. Big focus when you're fighting the Miracle Rogues is to try to make sure you have as much health as possible, which is going to be done so by armoring up with the Armorsmith, with using your hero power, and then of course with the shield block right there. So thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. Keep watching and keep owning.